He had me test, yeah.
Yeah, we're all right. Hey, and we're live. We're live from AHR out here in the Windy City, Chicago. We want to do some live streams while we're out here. My name is Brett Wetzel. I'm with Advanced Refrigeration Podcast, and we also have.
Yeah,
Already messing it up.
This is going to be a problem.
Go ahead.
I said I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And we're also with another guest from Parker Sporlan. We have.
Hello, Heath Schaefer.
And with Heath today, what did you want to talk about? I know we were going to talk about some control stuff, but what did you want to bring up? Like what new things does Parker Sporlan have in the works, and what stuff can we start to expect to see really 2024 this year?
So a lot of focus on CO2.
Yeah.
And a lot of focus on cloud solutions.
Ooh. Okay. So what kind of stuff are we talking with CO2? What different controls are we doing?
So mainly just the S3C. So the S3C case controller.
Okay.
We also have our full Alliance line for any kind of supermarket applications for rack circuit, case control, anything like that for CO2 applications we have in our Alliance platform.
Okay. All right. And what we know a little bit about the microthermal. I wanted you to talk about some of the other stuff that you guys are doing with the S3C. Is there any new capability with the S3C?
With the S3C, so we've added the CO2 A2L, so it supports all those refrigerants.
Was there anything special you had to do with having the A2L?
A2L, no. CO2, yes. But for A2L, no. Just the other products to enable, like for the solenoid, not having the pressure drop across the solenoid, just enabling those other safety valves in the system. But for control wise, no.
So is there any plans to take the SC3 and integrate it to Alliance?
So the Alliance currently right now is the LawnWorks platform. So it's the LawnWorks protocol. LawnWorks as part of the industry is getting phased out. So it's more about bringing Alliance over to BACnet. So that's where we're in process of.
Yeah, I see the 700 boards. I see everything's there.
Yep.
And, all the Ethernet capabilities. Mm-hmm. So which would be nice.
Yep. So it's primed and ready. It's ready for us to tap into. So that's what we're working on right now.
Okay, so that is the future then.
Yes, absolutely.
So nice.
So in the future, we'll have Alliance talking to the S3C as well. So they'll be able to interconnect, and the contractors and use them however they want to.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, but I definitely do have a question about.
Hit me.
Well, okay. So what's up with trying to get a hold of a password? I know a lot of the customers, they don't want us to have the passwords because they don't want things changed.
Right.
But when we're trying to just set up an initial store and potentially other different controllers might have different dates. So now one date code, if you do get it, doesn't work for every single one. So it might take a couple hours back and forth with the technical support in order to get that number.
So are you talking about Alliance or?
No, the S3C.
S3C, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is really just a customer request that be locked down.
Okay.
We originally started where it was not locked down. It was open, and it was just an admin and a technician password that technicians can use and share, and then the building automation controller would be the source of truth, if you will, for all those settings, and they could push those settings down, or it would sync once a day or something like that. But that has since gone away, and they've locked that down further. So now even if I gave you a password, it's not going to matter.
Really? So it comes right from the customer, then the end user.
From the case spec, that's what they want. Yeah.
Really? There's no way in there that you could do essentially, one password that lets you have X amount of capabilities and then locks out, potentially other things that the customer really doesn't want you to do, like being able to still do a defrost.
Right. So there are some functionality that the Tech Check app will give you. You can use your app and connect to the controller. You can force defrost. Should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. You can force defrost and change some parameters. So for example, like case ID, you're allowed to change case ID inside of the case on the S3C controller. And that's not something that requires a password or administrative rights. It's something that you can do just right at the controller itself. So I think as we get more exposure, more feedback from technicians, ideally I would like to open up more of those settings so that you guys can get in there, do your job, change whatever settings you have to. At least it's recorded. It's the end user can see that you've made those changes, and ideally you guys can get on to your second job.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing is usually the PR control for like pressure.
Right.
I mean that seems like the OEMs send it out wrong every single time for that.
Right.
It's like every morning I gotta call you guys and you'll get a password to swap over all these cases. I mean, if they could make that easier, that would cut down on so much time.
So we're trying our best to identify these issues, as they come up, and the ones that are happening the most. We want to try to identify them, but unfortunately there's a lot of parties involved, right? So there's a lot of people that they can have their own say. They want it this way, but this problem, if we go this path, there's a lot of problems that are happening because we're trying to go down this rigid path. So I think eventually we'll open it up a little bit more. We'll get a lot more flexibility, but at the end of the day, we're not the ones that hold the key.
No, understood. I mean, it's just, as far as serviceability, like when you get into the TechCheck app, it's awesome. You can operate everything as long as you have the capabilities.
Yeah.
But just like for the sake of time, sometimes it's as far as like when you're doing a startup, right? You have to get into every single controller and adjust all the addresses in order for it to communicate. Once you get it connected to the BAS system, I believe you guys can take the BAS system can overwrite the things in the Sporlan.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So they do have writable points.
Absolutely.
So you can do that.
Yeah. So for startups, there should really, and depending on what store you do, but we have the ability to connect RS-45 or Ethernet. We have the ability to pass RS-45 through our Ethernet port. So really, we have on some stores we have the first case is the RS-45 case, and everything else after that is Ethernet. So really, the only thing the technician should have to set up is the first case.
Yeah.
In terms of address, and that's really you have 8 different COM loops. You might just do 8 different unique numbers on that first case. But everything else you shouldn't have to touch. That's how it was designed. Now I hope it's working that way, but that's how it was designed.
Oh, I gotcha. Any other new applications that might be additionally added to the controller?
So we are looking at doing some things with defrost. I'll leave it there, but we're looking to do some good things with defrost on the case side.
Okay.
So trying to do as much as we can. We're working on. We also have a circuit controller that we have for Alliance. So we have all these other solutions, and we're looking to see how we can tie all those together to increase performance, save energy, maybe making interfacing easier, maybe troubleshooting easier for the technician. Again, for the case, you guys can be at the case and look at the case operation. But what if you can be at the case and look at the rack operation?
Well, any plans to take some of that tunability from the microthermal case controller and integrate it to the SC3 where you can tune the valve a little bit better? Case percentages?
It's a balance. We want to the Alliance gives us very good control over the valve, and it really lets you almost get laboratory grade control for your temperature. But we want to balance that with, we don't want to make it too complex for the technician when they're installing the case controller, where I have to set up 5 different settings just to get my case to get cold. And maybe I don't care about laboratory grade. So yeah, it's a balance, but yeah, we're definitely going to bring that over to the S3C.
Well, that was one of the things, like when I first saw the S3C, like the first phone call I made is like, well, I need to know how to put a max opening valve percentage in there. Because I mean, a lot of the, you have a husband case, so to speak, right? Where you have a 4-foot coil, and it's only 2,900 BTUs typically for that coil. So if you slap an SER AA on there, that SER AA is way oversized.
Right.
So if you don't tune that properly from the get, because most case controller manufacturers, they do need that. Oh, hey, we need to put it like 50% of its max, because otherwise that PID is just going to go 0 to 100, 0 to 100. Where like the microthermal stuff and the Sporlan stuff is really good at like your PID loops, like they tune out the stuff fairly well, where you don't need to put all these extra bells and whistles in.
Yeah, we try our best to tune out the noise. All the other things that are happening in the system, other circuits coming on, coming off, going into defrost, going out of defrost. Well, you spend a lot of time trying to tune all that noise out. Just focus just on the case that you're operating on. You guys curious what S3C means?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever asked.
Okay, well, it was in our training, but safety, security, and service. So
see. Oh, hold on. I had to take that training when I had to get a perfect on that test.
yeah.
So where I'm going through it, and I must have took like 60 screenshots because I would get like 2 within of getting that perfect score. I'm like, do it again.
So I made that quiz, so I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. that was the worst 4 hours of my life.
My voice for an hour and a half. Yeah, it's very rough.
That is his voice. I didn't even notice that.
So it's since been redone. It's actually on our Sporlan video YouTube channel, but it's a lot better. So we have a person that took my training and chopped it up into easier chunks. Yeah. But the graphics are a lot better. The voice is a lot better. I think they do it with 2 people now, so it's a little bit of kind of a back and forth.
Well, someone said that to me. I was like, because they'll ask me about it. I'm like, I don't know, man. When I took it, I had to. It took me like 4 hours to take it. Yeah. Now, what's the turnaround typically? Like, when you first read, like, if you take the, because now don't have to take the training essentially to get the tech view, or do you still?
You still, yes.
Okay. So once you pass that, how long? Because someone had called me up the one day. It was like, well, I just took this class or took the training for it. When can I expect a phone call back?
It's typically, we had it set up. We kind of struggled a little bit with the how do we deploy this, but so where it's at right now is the technician would call up for access because we have to grant access. But we can see, we've kind of done it both ways where we try to see Heath Schaefer is taking the class, or Heath Schaefer is requesting access, and then we have a little icon on there, has he taken the class? Yes. So we can just approve it right there. In the past, it wasn't that way. In the past, we kind of needed the technician to call in, but now we have the systems linked together. So now usually we just approve them right when the request comes in, if we see that they passed the test.
Gotcha.
If they didn't pass the test, it's a temporary access, but it only lasts a few days.
Okay. What other things do you guys have coming through the pipeline for microtherm? Any new technologies that besides,
so for the new technology, so we're doing an end of life on some of our products. So we're going from the 500 board to the 700 board. If you guys have used the old 500 boards, so the parts in there, just as with any electronics, they're kind of the end of life. So all those applications are getting ported over, or really already ported over, to the 700 platform.
Okay.
So yeah, all the 700 platform will support all of those other features. So now it's just supporting or updating Alliance, so to give you guys tools for plugins and stuff like that when you're integrating.
Any update on like the UC 700s for like the block logic and?
So that is still an active project. So we're actively getting work done. Yes, it's I guess we're actively working on it. I hope to have it done very soon. We're trying to add as many as we can, as quick as we can. So if something does come up where you guys see a feature that, it's not in there right now, I'd really love to have it, can help me with these projects. So we're trying to prioritize and get the most important things done first.
Yeah, I know a big pain point for us has been like manuals.
Okay.
Like for the 700 series, like there's nothing.
Yep.
And like we've been doing like a lot of PID tuning and other stuff here lately, and it's there's zero manuals explaining. There's the explanations inside of the controller, but they're very, very vague compared to what you need for like PID tuning and how the base value affects things and other stuff. So that's been a real hard thing for me is to find manuals, because there's only a couple.
So it's definitely something on our to-do list, is getting more documentation out there. Like you said, we do have the documentation inside the Alliance. But yes, more is always better in terms of documentation.
Yeah. What else you got? I'm trying to figure out what other controller stuff that you guys are talking about. Anything else with CO2 that you guys have coming down the pipe?
For CO2, well, we do have, not for controls, but we do have a lot of our other things that you guys are familiar with. So the filter dryers, valves, gas coolers, all that stuff. So
are you familiar at all with the industrial style valves, like the mag driven valve trains?
No.
All right, then I'll have to get some about that.
Yeah, we'll get you over here. We'll talk to you about
it. Any plans on building an ejector anytime soon?
Oh, you guys want an ejector, huh?
Well, maybe.
It's really, we really try to focus on the market need. So if that is the need of the market, it's something that we will definitely look at. We're trying to, again, do the right thing at the right time. So if there is a market need for this, we'll definitely focus.
Well, Heath, I appreciate you talking to us, I guess we'll catch you up next time. We'll be on another live stream in a little bit
All right.
here, and we're talking about some of the 90 bar valves that they're going to have out.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. I love your podcast.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.